I've already made a video where I touched on this briefly, but I just want to talk about it a little bit more in depth. Now, there's an IFL TV interview out there which came out in the past week or so with Dillian Whyte, and he talks about this sparring incident that happened with Dereck Chisora where he got dropped. And yes, he did get dropped by Chisora in sparring. He's finally confirmed it. I first made a video about these rumors last year. I believe it was early last year in 2015, because I've been told in private by somebody who claimed to have seen a DVD of Dillian Whyte getting dropped by Chisora in sparring. Okay, and I mentioned it at the time that it was just a rumor. It was just something I've been told privately. But recently in another video, I did say to you guys that most of these bits of private intel, this inside information, which comes to me through, all these different sources, it usually turns out to be true. And here is another instance of how this, inside information turned out to be true. Dillian Whyte admits that Chisora did drop him in sparring. He says that Chisora caught him on the back of the head with a punch, and he took a knee and he was pretty dazed from it. Then he told his trainer to cut his gloves off, and he wanted to have a fight outside of the ring with Chisora, and he says Chisora basically ran away. He also says in that same IFL TV interview, again, if I haven't already mentioned, I'll leave a link to it in the description below so you can go watch it for yourselves in its entirety. But he also mentions in that he himself dropped Chisora several times in sparring in different sessions, and that he has generally dominated Chisora most of the times that they've sparred. So it shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't be alarming to anybody that both of these guys have been down sparring each other. You spar far more rounds than you're ever going to fight in a professional ring. If you see Vladimir Klitschko, who's had how many fights, 60 fights or something like that, more than 60 fights, he has had a hell of a lot more, 60 times however much, let's say most of Vladimir Klitschko's fights have been on average, 5, 6, 7 rounds. If you, average out over the 60 fights and then you times that by 60, I'm not a good mathematician. I'll let you guys do that. But basically what I'm saying is, even if you add up all the rounds that a guy has boxed in a professional ring, it doesn't even equal a fraction of the rounds that he's boxed behind the scenes in sparring against many different sparring partners. You might have sparred 8, 9 rounds, and then a fresh guy gets in and he catches you with a shot and drops you, a guy that normally wouldn't be able to drop you. That kind of stuff happens all the time in sparring to very well-known fighters. So don't be shocked. Mike Tyson was dropped by many people in sparring, people like Oliver McCall, Greg Page, and you've got people like Vitaly Klitschko, who there are rumors going around that he got dropped by Frazer Kendo in sparring. And you would think, no way, Frazer Kendo can't drop Vitaly Klitschko. You don't know the circumstances behind it. As I say, what if Vitaly had been boxing, 10, 12 rounds or, 8, 9 rounds, and he was tired from the work those guys have been giving him, and then the Kendo came in fresh as a daisy and cracked him with a few shots and got him over. It could have happened, right? Stuff like this takes place in boxing. So yeah, just a video to alert some of you guys to this particular situation where Whyte has admitted that Chisora dropped him. For those of you who are interested, okay, he was able to take Anthony Joshua's punches when he was fresh early very, very well. So I don't think we need to sit here and worry about Dillian Whyte's chin. He's showing a pretty solid chin. But it just shows that strange things can happen. And with Chisora, he's not known as a big puncher, and he's not a big puncher. Well, actually, let me take that back. Chisora is not a prolific puncher. That's the term that I'm using these days. I coined the term a long time ago, but I'm trying to get myself to use it more and more. Chisora is not a prolific puncher. But if you put Chisora against a stationary target and say, go on, Dereck, hit that guy's chin as hard as you can, Dereck will hurt most people. Yeah? It's just that he don't have the technique, the balance, the coordination to be able to land with full force, to get all his body weight and full force on somebody's chin, because their chins are usually moving. And he has to try and adjust his coordination and adjust his timing and all that to be able to land with full force on somebody's chin like that. But when he does, those rare occasions when he does get a clean shot off with full force behind it, he can hurt most heavyweights. I'm telling you, he's a very, very big man. Look what he did to Kevin Johnson. Kevin Johnson does have a good chin, and it only took one Dereck Chisora right hand. He finally managed to land with full force on somebody's chin, and Kevin Johnson went crashing to the canvas. That was the first time he'd ever been decked. So yeah, in a sparring session, maybe he had Dillian Whyte on the ropes and slung over one of those big, huge, swinging overhand rights, and it connected bang on the back of Dillian Whyte's head. That's gonna, make him disorientated, man. It's gonna make him dizzy, particularly on the back of the head. So yeah, I wouldn't really take it as anything alarming. I wouldn't really take it as anything surprising. It is what it is. So let me know what you think about this, people, and let's have a discussion about other sparring rumors over the years in different fights. Involving different fighters. Let me know about, maybe jog my memory about some of these sparring rumors over the years about somebody who knocked somebody out in sparring or dropped somebody in sparring. And maybe I'll be able to confirm whether or not some of these rumors are true or false through some of the information I know, interviews that I've heard and read over the years of fighters who have admitted to being dropped in sparring, or fighters who have claimed to have dropped other people in sparring. For example, Chad Dawson was dropped by Edison Miranda in sparring very badly, apparently knocked out. This was according to Edison Miranda's trainer, and Chad Dawson never denied it. You've got rumors that Ross Purity dropped Lennox Lewis a couple of times in sparring. And according to Purity, Lewis kicked him out of the camp for dropping him a couple of times. Is there any truth to that? I don't know. And I've already mentioned the Kendo dropping Vitaly Klitschko, Mike Tyson getting dropped by Greg Page and Oliver McCall. You've got just countless sparring stories over the years. Let's have a discussion about some of them in the comment section below. All right? It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.